Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for the English news. And President El-Sisi underscoring planned administrative reform should eye activating distinct human resources. Shukri in Sudan to relay Egypt's support to new government. British Prime Minister visits Ireland and says he wants a Brexit deal on October the 18th. And now the news in detail. President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi today said more finance should be channeled into expanding a magnitude of small and medium enterprises undertaken by the state's agency for developing medium, small and micro enterprises. At a meeting with the Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli and the head of the agency Niveen Gama, the president said that the agency must cater to all the needs of the young entrepreneurs. He also said that the state is interested in supporting the sector of medium and small enterprises given its role in generating more jobs as well as diversifying and sharpening competitive edge of the national economy. President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi today instructed that planned administrative reform should be brought into effect with a broad view to activating distinct human resources. President el-Sisi made these remarks as he presided over a meeting of Prime Minister Dr. Mustafa Madbouli and the Minister of Planning Dr. Hala Said. And spokesman for the Presidential Cabinet, Ambassador Bassem Radi, disclosed that the President was updated on the all-out state administrative reform currently in progress as well as on the planned development of the National Investment Bank. The President also instructed that state sectoral, administrative and institutional overall direly required to upgrade government performance should be attached as a top priority and that standards for public service quality must also be accredited. The President also stressed that modern technology should be brought into full play in the area of public administration, highlighting a predicted government reallocation to the new capital as a qualitative shift in modern government performance.
مصيرنا واحد وأهدافنا المشتركة واحدة وما يتحقق من خير وفائدة لمصر من شأنه أيضا أن يعود بالنفع والفائدة على كافة دول القارة. إن مصر لن تدخر جهدا لدعم ونقل خبراتها لأشقائها الأفارقة لتصبح أفريقيا قوة فاعلة على الساحة الدولية بحلول عام 2063. سوف تتجه إفريقيا إلى المزيد من التقدم والازدهار والسلام والتعاون المشترك. إن كافة تحركات الدول الإفريقية تهدف لتأمين مستقبل أجيالنا القادمة. تحيا شعوب ودول إفريقيا وتحيا مصر.
Foreign Minister Sameh Shoukry today said that Cairo lends support to the attempted lift of Sudan from Washington's blacklist of terrorist sponsoring states. Addressing a press conference following his talks with Sudanese officials in Khartoum, Shoukry reiterated Egypt's support to the new Sudanese government bilaterally, regionally and globally. The top diplomat also voiced Egypt's full backing to Sudan during the transitional phase in a way that helps the neighboring country return to its natural regional standing. And earlier, the foreign minister conveyed a message from President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi to the chief of Sudan's Sovereign Council, General Abdel Fattah al-Burhan, on Egypt's support to Sudan. Shukri arrived in Khartoum today on a first state visit to Sudan since the swearing-in of the new government. Shukri paid tribute to the talks with al-Burhan as revealing a strong political will on both Egyptian and Sudanese sides to develop relations on all bilateral, regional and international levels. And as part of his first state visit to the Sudanese capital Khartoum since the swearing-in of the new government on Sunday, Foreign Minister Sameh Shukri had a meeting also with Sudanese Prime Minister Abdallah Hamdok. And Shukri stressed Egypt's support to the new government, stressing readiness to activate cooperation with Sudan in a way that achieves the aspirations of both neighboring peoples. And at another meeting, Foreign Minister Sameh Shukri held talks with his Sudanese counterpart Asma Abdullah and hailed the African Union's lifting of its suspension of Sudan's membership. Sudan's Foreign Minister Asma Muhammad Abdullah paid tribute to Egypt's position in support of the Sudanese people, stressing that the new Sudanese government was resolved that cooperation with Egypt should be maintained and that all joint cooperation committees should be meeting regularly. The Arab League Secretary General Ahmed Abul Gheit today held talks with Mohammed El Tahir Sayala, the Foreign Minister on Libya's National Accord government, over the latest security and political developments in Libya and the League's role in diffusing the crisis in Libya. An Arab League statement said the meeting also reviewed overall issues tabled for discussion at the League's council meeting scheduled tomorrow on a ministerial level. The minister pushed for a unified Arab position in support of the Libyan state and an overall vision for backing Libyans till they reach a settlement of their crisis in all its security, political, economic and humanitarian dimensions. And the UN nuclear watchdog's chief impressed upon Iranians officials the importance of providing swift cooperation with his agency as it seeks information on its activities. A day after holding meetings in Tehran, the International Atomic Energy Agency Acting Director General Cornel Faruta called on Iran to respond promptly to the agency's questions regarding Tehran's nuclear program. Earlier Monday, the IAEA confirmed that Iran was installing advanced centrifuges, a move that puts further pressure on the troubled 2015 nuclear deal with world powers. And Israel's army said that one of its drones fell in Lebanon without directly denying Hezbollah claims that it shot the aircraft down. Lebanon's movement Hezbollah, which exchanged fire with Israeli forces in a flash confrontation last week, said it had downed the drone. The group said the aircraft was now in its hands. And the month-long suspension of the British Parliament ordered by Prime Minister Boris Johnson will begin late Monday in an apparent bid to stop MPs blocking his Brexit strategy. In the meantime, he was in Dublin to say he wanted a new deal with the EU on October the 18th. And we have details in the following report by Minna Dusui.
Britain's parliament will be suspended for 5 weeks on Monday following another expected defeat by MPs for Prime Minister Boris Johnson as he battles to salvage his hardline Brexit strategy amid fierce opposition in Westminster. The controversial suspension will begin shortly after MPs are set to vote again against Johnson's bid to hold a snap election next month, 2 weeks before the country is due to leave the European Union. Earlier, Johnson held talks with his Irish counterpart Leo Varadkar in Dublin before returning to the parliamentary turmoil later Monday. The British leader has voted to take Britain out of the EU by the latest October 31st deadline with or without a formal divorce deal, despite warnings that the later scenario would entail economic chaos. However, the planned suspension has provoked uproar from opposition MPs and conservative critics who passed the legislation forcing Johnson to seek a Brexit delay next month if he has not reached a deal with the EU. Queen Elizabeth II has given her formal approval to the law. Opposition party leaders have also vowed to keep blocking the snap poll until Brexit has been extended beyond October 31st.
A powerful typhoon that battered Tokyo overnight with record winds, killing 2 people, as cancelled trains caused commuter chaos and more than 100 flights were scrapped, leaving thousands stranded at the airport. Typhoon Faxai, packing winds of up to 207 kilometers per hour, made landfall in Chiba, just east of the capital, before dawn after barreling through Tokyo Bay. The storm injured more than 30 people, including a woman who was sustained serious injuries after gusts toppled a protective netting structure at a golf driving range onto nearby houses. And Egypt's market indices went down during Monday's trade session, affected by the selling operations by the Arab and foreign investment funds and corporations. The capital market listed on the bourse lost £3.1 billion to end dealings at £774.4 billion. Benchmark index EGX30 retreated in 0.3% to close at 14,887.78 points, while capped EGX30 index rose in 0.1%. And medium capped index EGX70 fell by 0.38%, reaching 556.41 points, while the broader index EGX100 also edged lower by 0.27% to reach 147.45 points. And the Cabinet Media Center has underlined the positive steps taken by the state to digitalize society services, adding that £7 billion and £800 million had been allocated to upgrade the state information infrastructure in the budget of the year 2019-2020. The Media Center also noted that a reparation reforms was held, establishing the National Council for payment, the Higher Council for Numerical Transformation. The center added that Egypt also launched a national strategy for numerical trade in 2017 in cooperation with the United Nations Organization for Trade and Development. Saudi Arabia's new energy minister said on Monday the world's top oil exporter would keep working with other producers to achieve a market balance, and that an OPEC-led supply curbing deal would survive with the will of everybody. Prince Abdulaziz bin Salman said that there would be no radical change in the oil policy of Saudi Arabia, OPEC's de facto leader, which he said was based on strategic considerations such as reserves and energy consumption. The prince had helped negotiate the deal between the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries, the OPEC, and its allies, a group known as OPEC Plus, to cut global crude supply in order to support prices and balance the market. Oil prices rose on Monday after the new Saudi Arabian energy minister, Prince Abdulaziz bin Salman, confirmed expectations that there would be no radical change in his country's oil policy. Global benchmark Brent crude futures were up to 46 cents at a $62 a barrel, while the U.S. West Texas Intermediate was up to 48 cents at a $57 a barrel. Prices on Monday were also supported by a rise in oil imports in China in August, with the shipments to the world's biggest importer up to 3% from July and nearly 10% higher in the first 8 months of the 2019 from a year earlier.